Hi, and welcome to Disctv, the show that brings you the world of disc golf. I'm Brian Sullivan. This week we're in Columbia, Missouri for the Mid-America Open. We're expecting a mix of rain and sunshine this weekend, and as you can see, we've currently got rain. This is creating some muddy conditions on these courses, and only the strong will survive. Don't go anywhere. Disctv is on the air right now. Also this week, we'll talk disc golf with Kansas City's LaRon Harris. The Winnie Crew has some tips for driving off the tee pad, and we'll bring you extended coverage of the final round from Columbia. It's all about disc golf. This is Disctv.
Good. Pause.
Welcome to America's Heartland. Disctv is in Columbia, Missouri for the 18th annual Mid-American Open Disc Golf Tournament. Many of the top PDGA touring pros are here and ready to take on 3 waterlogged courses, including the brand new Indian Hills, an unforgiving course where mistakes and bogeys go hand in hand. Our format is 4 rounds of 18, although a couple of holes on the Oakland Park back course are flooded out due to all the rain, so those holes will have to be skipped. If spring showers bring flowers, Columbia, Missouri will be blooming large in no time. Generally, the only legitimate reasons to stop a disc golf tournament are for lightning, hurricane, or tornado. Otherwise, it's business as usual. And oh yes, the rain did fall at the Mid-America Open. Sometimes it came in sheets, sometimes in spurts. It dripped, dropped, and soaked everything and everyone in the tournament. However, most of the players, well, they hardly noticed. 2001 Mid-America Open winner Kevin McCoy of Tulsa has been shooting well this year, and McCoy came into the event with the confidence only a defending champ can bring. This 90-foot putt for deuce was one of the many shots that helped McCoy bag an 11 under par first round to tie for the lead. There were other great shots on the first day of play. World champ Cameron Todd managed to stay among the leaders, and Columbia local Bruce Hudson with an incredible 9 under par first round. He said, quote, "I don't belong on the leader card." Hudson promptly fell apart in round 2. Temperatures were in the 50s and 60s on Saturday with mostly cloudy skies. That helped the Winnie Crew's Avery Jenkins and Todd Branch stay out of trouble. When the wind whipped up, even the shorter course at Oakland Park could give grief to experienced pros like Raleigh's Brian Schweberger, who comes up short on this one. If you can't putt, give up now. Local favorite George Smith, booyah! Carlos Pelge of San Diego, he's got the eyeball on it. That putt is good. And another Colombian, this is Travis Flatt on his home turf, and he knows how to get it done. Travis for the deuce. But it was California's Sean Sinclair who quietly and efficiently led through both first rounds, walking out of Oakland Park with a 2-stroke advantage going into Sunday's action. What wins on a short course? The correct answer would be putting. Sunday morning was over to the brand new Indian Hills course, where it was wet and muddy with about as many trees per acre as your typical rainforest. One wrong kick and your deuce shot could easily turn into a 5. Watch out for that tree, Kevin McCoy. Yeah, that tree right there. Travis Flatt struggled with many others, but still managed a respectable 1 under par for the round, despite a few missed putts. George Smith, he's on fire, hitting everything in the house. The guy was insane. Todd Branch, could it be the putt of the round? The crowd's holding their breath. It's good! Beautiful putt. Cameron Todd managed to find a way through most of the trees to shoot a round best of 6 down and stay close on the heels of Sean Sinclair. Our leader is coming up here now. Sinclair all day long, a mantra. Pull, putt, and ching. The guy could not be stopped. Sinclair still looking for his first national tour win of the season, and he's thinking maybe the Mid-America Open just might be the ticket. What's that mantra again? Pull, putt, and ching. The rain and the mud might have slowed things down on the ground, but players kept their run-ups short and slogged their way into the final round. Now on to the women, where 17-year-old Allison Kremer held her own with the touring pros. Coming from a longtime Frisbee family is helpful on that end. Leslie Herndon looking smooth as always, but the rain and the wet brought her game down a few notches, which would open the door for Iowa's Angela Schidfree, who snuck into second place during round 3 with solid game and long putts. And leading all the way, it was 4-time women's world champ Juliana Korver, who kept throwing and never looked back.
I was really happy with this weekend. This is a course that I used to play when I started out when I was an AM. This is about 6 hours from my hometown, and I've even played this course twice with my mom.
So not only are you very familiar with the course, Mom's
very familiar with the course. Yeah, and it's just fun to come back. I mean, it's been a number of years since I've been here, and they've changed around a little bit, but the perception that I have in my mind from the early days has changed so much from the way I throw the course now, so that's always fun too.
It's time now to take a closer look at one of the courses that the pros are playing this weekend here in Columbia, Missouri. We're at Indian Hills Park, and to show us around is one of Columbia's oldest and wisest disc golfers, Alex Dadant. Alex, thanks for showing us around.
I'm glad to be here. I'd love to show off the course.
We're at Indian Hills. It's a brand new course, right?
Yes, less than a week.
Tell us about this course.
This course, we were given permission back in December to put a course in here. We have an 18-hole course that runs the gamut from several number of wide open holes to 8 really tight tunnel shots. It runs about 5,300 feet.
Now, we're on hole 3. Specifically, what challenges are we facing out here? What's the distance? How are we going to play this hole?
This hole is about 410 feet long, and it's what we would call one of the open holes on the course. It has a number of clumps of trees down the fairway. Gives you several options for the right-handed hyzer, the left-handed hyzer. There's room to get a roll in. The green is pretty well protected to the right and behind the hole. And it's currently, the prevailing winds tend to be at your back, but today we're getting them a little off our right side.
So maybe a hyzer today.
I'm looking at a hyzer.
Let's give it a shot.
Right, let's go. All right, and you can kind of see it up through the trees. It's just right down the middle. I want to play it out a little bit around. Nope, didn't turn. That'll work.
Nice distance, though.
That'll work. Opens up over there.
I'm going to have to take your word on that. Good to go?
That'll give you a tester. Ready?
Now, tell me about the rose bushes you had to deal with.
This is one of our premium ones up in the tree here. We've been pulling roses out of the woods for the last 5 months. We couldn't find anybody brave enough to yank on that one yet. I'm sure we'll get to it, but in the meantime, try to avoid that tree.
And these are non-blooming or...
Yeah, these are wild roses,
wild
and you can kind of see a little white blossom up in the top of that one right now, but they're mostly thorns and trouble, huh? That's about all there is.
Speaking of trouble, how am I going to play this?
Well, you got a bit of a hyzer. The only trick you've got is right by the hole. You can see that cedar tree. It's just about 15, 18 feet to the right of the basket. So you're going to come in and a little skip shot. If you'd rather throw a little trick something, you can come out the other way, but you got a better shot, I think, coming in here on the right.
Come on, turn.
That's that tree I was talking about. And it should be up here. Oh, goodness. That's 50 feet further than I've thrown it.
You got 100 feet past me. However, Alex,
I wish I hadn't,
work to do,
personally. I'm just glad I'm old and wily.
Are you going to flick it, hyzer it, and hyzer it? What are you thinking?
Well, let me stand on the last second. I don't know. You know, I think I may roll it. If I can get up, just curl around those trees a little bit. I don't like the high
The man
shot.
says he's wily.
Wily. Turn. Just a little bit.
Ran out of gas, but a sweet shot.
That ought to go. Now watch your step, a little damp up here. Now that's an understatement.
I'm toast. This is not pretty.
Now we left that tree, Jennifer, just for you guys.
All right, here comes the magic 3.
Get torque one through the middle.
I'm going right through here.
You're the wily one. Oh, metal. And it ran out of gas just about right.
Oh, beauty.
A little straddle, I think I can pull this one off.
Nice job.
Nicely done.
A 4, but it was fun.
Well, I enjoy it. That's always a good hole. I
Thanks for showing
love
us
playing.
around,
I'm
Alex.
glad to do it. Happy to have you here.
It's Indian Hills Park in Columbia, Missouri. If you're looking for more information, Alex, where can they go?
We have a website at cdgc.com, and they can check in there anytime they want to. And Columbia Parks and Recreation in Columbia, Missouri can help them out as well.
Columbia Disc Golf rocks. Disc golf is the new outdoor sport for the entire family. This environmentally friendly game is now being enjoyed by hundreds of thousands of players on over 1,200 courses worldwide. For the past 25 years, the Professional Disc Golf Association has been there, guiding disc golf into the future. The PDGA is an international nonprofit member organization that serves both professional and amateur disc golfers. The Professional Disc Golf Association, guiding disc golf into the future. This is the part of the show where we sit down and we talk with one of the disc golfers around the country who are out there making a difference one way or another. And this week we're real pleased to have with us LaRon Harris of Kansas City. LaRon, thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Now, you've been disc golfing for how long?
For about 13 years.
And how did you get involved? How did you get first started?
Well, the very first time a friend of mine were just driving through the park and just caught some color as we were driving, flying through the air. And we just kind of looked at each other and decided to stop, pull over and watch. And after about 30 minutes of watching different players go by, we looked at each other and said, hey, we can do this. We can play this sport. And so we got out, bought some discs, and been playing ever since.
It's that real addictive quality about disc golf when you start playing, isn't it?
It's very addictive because every shot that you throw, you always feel you can do a little bit better. Even if it's under the basket, you still are hungry for hitting those chains in one shot. So you're always trying to do a little bit better, no matter if your drive, your approach, or your putt. You just always want it to be solid. For myself, when people talk to me about different shots that I throw, I don't want to just sit there and talk to them. I want them to grab their bag and let's go out. And if you're interested, we're gonna work it all out. I'm gonna try to spread as much of my talent to every player out there that wants to know. If they take the time to walk up to me and ask me about certain parts of their game that they need help on, then that's my cue to jump in and spend the 2 hours or the whole day and just give them what I have. You have to do it. As a professional player, that is part of your role, everyone, to put back into the public as often as you can.
Well, let's talk about your actual on-the-course playing for a minute. First of all, what do you think is the strongest part of your game?
The strongest part of my game is my driving ability. For some reason, I am able to just pick up a lot of power in a short space and put it to the hole. A lot of times when the holes are 300, 350, that's when it's difficult for me because my natural swing is going to push me about 450. So for me, it's my drive, and I really start to grin and smile when I see longer holes because I can really focus in on pin in the hole if it's a little bit longer. And as far as my weakness, you know, that is my upshots. Shorter holes, approaching holes sometimes can be rather difficult for me.
Let's get back to the distance, the strength part of your game. I know you've been involved in the martial arts for many years. You have a black belt.
Correct.
How does all your training in that field transfer into your disc golf game, and especially your drive?
Well, a lot of it is the concentration. In martial arts, you know, from your white belt to your black belt, they're going to stress the fact of concentration. And some tournaments, you know, are a little easier play than others on the surface, but the concentration level is times 10. Most of the players out here, you can tell when they're having a great game. They don't see anything but the hole. And you can just look in their eyes and you can see it. But you know, for me, what helped in martial arts and disc golf, it is the focus, the concentration, and learning how to distribute a lot of power in a small space and a small, you know, few steps. Using your hips, rotating your hips a lot, and being able to focus on the hole, take your eyes off the hole, and put more torque into your movement. That's what helps me. I can take my eyes off the target, and it allows me to turn my body away from the target more because I have this mental picture of the hole already locked in. So I don't have to always keep my eye on the hole to generate the power. And it might be a little different, a little awkward, but it works for me.
Well, I see nothing but some scary weather coming in, but I do have one more question for you, LaRon Harris, and that is for a new player who is trying to improve their game, what do you recommend? They're brand new.
They're brand new.
You see a lot of new players. You work with a lot of new players.
Yes, I do. And first thing I tell them is try to keep it simple. You want to have a putter, a mid-range disc, and a driver that's not extremely stable for a new player. One thing they're going to have least of when they first start is control. And they need simple plastic that they can physically control and mentally control in their mind, knowing that they're not going to overpower the disc or not have enough energy for the disc. So just to keep it simple, a new player, 3 to 5 discs, you know, and they won't have a lot of choice selections, which will help you keep the disc in the fairway. You have 5 discs to learn instead of, you know, like I carry 20 discs, but they all have different purposes. There's some discs you probably wouldn't see come out of my bag but once around, but that's learning your plastic.
Those are just a few of the tips that LaRon Harris has given to new and experienced players over the years. And if you happen to play on any of the Kansas City courses, you can always track LaRon down and ask him more. LaRon Harris, thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks a lot for having me. Keep playing.
Whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Todd Branch of the Winnie Crew. This week we'll be talking about technique and rulings for teeing off. Joining me this week, once again, will be my good friend David Feldberg, and we'll clue you in on the way things work when you're teeing off. Every hole that you play in a disc golf tournament starts with a tee off. This is a teeing area. This particular one happens to have a cement tee pad. Commonly, a tee pad would be approximately 5 feet by 12 feet, but they vary from course to course. The rule with teeing off is that all the points, all your supporting points, have to be on the tee pad when you release the disc. As you can see in this instance, Dave stepped over the end of the line before he released the disc. This would be a foot fault. And as explained earlier, foot faults merit a warning on the first offense, and it's a strong penalty any subsequent time that the offense is perpetrated throughout the round.
Other aspects of teeing is sometimes in a hole like this, you would like to get a different angle on the tee pad. And some people would try to get just 1 foot up on the corner of it with all their supporting points. so that they can get a better angle at the hole. But the problem is with this, sometimes people throw and then this foot's still on the ground. See, this foot can't be here. You have to be all on the tee pad.
On some courses, there won't be a nice cement tee pad. Some courses are new. Some parks won't allow a permanent cement structure on the course. So there'll be a teeing line. In the case where there's a line, you can tee up anywhere directly behind the line up to 3 meters, which is approximately 9 feet 9 inches. So you can estimate it, 3 meters as 3 long strides. You would draw your line there. You can tee anywhere from this line to the end of the tee pad would be legal.
Now that we've showed you teeing, we're going to start to show you a little bit of the technique that it takes for advanced driving. Most of the pros that you'll see on this show will be throwing what is commonly known as the scissor step. That is when they take and put their lead foot, the right foot if they're right-handed, out in front of them. Then they take their left foot and put it behind them to twist the torso so they can reach back. And then they hop and throw on the lead foot and turn the foot towards the hole and follow through. So let me show you what this looks like. See how my foot came off the end, but I was still, all my supporting points were on the tee pad when I teed. I was allowed to follow through and continue my momentum. Okay, now that we've shown you the advanced driving technique, I'm going to bring in a guest this week known for his 360s, Avery Jenkins of the Winnie Crew. This is an advanced driving technique known to gain extra distance when needed. Let's see what he can do. See how Avery over-rotated his hips there so he could gain more force. He put his foot out and then came all the way around to generate force. This is the kind of thing we're going to talk about next week when we go over the advanced driving technique. We'll have Todd Branch and Avery Jenkins.
So this week we talked about teeing off. We talked about teeing from the side, teeing from a tee pad, teeing from non-cement tee pads, and foot faults. As Dave said, next week we'll talk about advanced driving techniques. So,
until then,
I'm Todd Branch.
Avery Jenkins.
I'm Dave Felberg. We'll see you on the fairways. Happy flights.